All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Chuse Moon, and I am an associate professor at the College of Nursing at University of Iowa. As a member of the Education Committee at the National Center for Gerontological Nursing Excellence, I'm very honored to have April NHCGNE Fireside Chat today. This is a free monthly webinar series featuring distinguished educators in gerontological nursing and other experts sharing insights on key topics in geriatric nursing. Each chat will begin with a brief presentation followed by an informal discussion where you can engage directly with speakers. To introduce Dr. Kim Oosterhouse, who is a speaker for today, is a nurse educator for 21 years and is a dedicated faculty member at the Loyola University of Chicago. With a clinical background in adult intensive care and cardiology, her research focuses on improving outcomes for vulnerable older adults through informatics, nursing education, and combating ageism. Dr. Oosterhouse's research experience include identifying nurse barriers to older adult delirium assessments and in management, terminology associated with delirium and delirium screening in the electronic health record using natural language processing. And she collaborates across disciplines with colleagues in medicine, social work, and informatics. In the next 15 minutes, Dr. Oosterhouse will talk about the facilitating the See Me program, the Student Elder Engaged Mentoring Experience. Thank you, Dr. Oosterhouse. Please get this started.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moon. Welcome, everybody, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to get to speak with you all about a project that Dr. Lisa Skemp and myself implemented at Loyola University Chicago Marcella Neihoff School of Nursing, and we called it the Student Elder Engaged Mentoring Experience. So just a few acknowledgements. The term elder was selected by the older adult community partners as their preferred nomenclature. We understand that elder is no longer really an accepted term. This program was funded by a grant from the RRF Foundation for Aging. The project director was Dr. Lisa Skemp, and I was the co-director. The Loyola University Chicago nursing students and Edgewater community partners were active in collaborating and developing this program. And without them, it would not have been as successful. So we want to give a big shout out and thank you for them. And then I just wanted to let you know that I have no conflicts of interest. So what is the problem? We know that there is a huge need for nursing care of the older adult population right now. And at a time in our nation's history, when a need for nursing care of the older adult is paramount, nursing students continue to report unease with gerontological nursing. Pre-licensure nursing curriculum tends to perpetuate ageist attitudes by focusing on frail older adults within health systems, emphasizing vulnerability rather than wellness, and disconnection rather than connection. And this contributes to disinterest in gerontological nursing. Loneliness, isolation, and rising rates of suicide were exacerbated not only by COVID-19, but by ongoing uncertainties for both older adult and college-age populations. The 2023 Surgeon General's Advisory on Loneliness and Isolation advocates for the healing effects of social connection, but ageist attitudes and stereotypes hinder social connections across generations. Intergenerational programs aim to address ageism and social connectivity. However, transferability of programs to culturally diverse groups is challenging. And so we try to use, or we use the culturally informed health model for developing this program. And we worked with 5 very diverse older adult groups in our community. Okay. I am having a few chats here. Let me just check. Okay. All right. We're good. All right. So anyway, let me go ahead. So thinking about this then, the program purpose was to develop, implement, and evaluate a sustainable nursing student and older adult engaged reciprocal mentoring experience. And this is to promote health and wellness by addressing ageism, isolation, and loneliness through social connectivity. So what did we do? Well, we had a course in the Marcella Neihoff School of Nursing, and it is a 2 credit hour concepts in older adult health course. And we wanted to incorporate a program because with the growing need for these nursing professionals, and this is a required course, like I mentioned, we wanted to use some type of an engaged learning component because the course does not have a clinical component to it. It introduces students to the care of the older adults, and it's designed to explore current concepts and practices pertaining to aging. It also provides an overview of normal physical, psychological, social, cultural, and varying aspects of aging, the aging process. And it addresses health and health alterations of aging and exploration of attitudes towards the care of the older adult. It's a total of 30 class contact hours. And so what we ended up doing was incorporating 10 hours of class time for, or dedicating that for the CME program. And then we had the other 20 hours of the classroom time for the didactic components. And so we reached out to Dr. Skemp had made many connections with older adult groups within the Edgewater community where Loyola is located. And we engaged with these older adult groups and found out that really loneliness and isolation is a very prominent concern at the time, and it still is ongoing, but they are very concerned about, having people reach out and engage. And so we sought more feedback from these older adult community leaders, and we also sought feedback from nursing students on how could we make this course better, because over time the course had evolved from textbook learning and exams to more interactive discussion and sharing of experiences, but the application of needs assessments and tools and exploration of resources for elder care was ongoing. And we also noticed there's a lot of ageism, stereotypes, stigma, and false beliefs. And so we were working with students early in the course uh, to try to impact those roles. And so the effects became, what we did was we started to look at, okay, how can we do this and make it more engaged, which is we decided, how can we do an engaged learning? And so this is an experiential learning, but it's because it was less credit hours than some of the experiential learning. We were able to incorporate it without having to go through a whole curriculum change and adding credit hours to it. Okay. So what we did was with the partners that we had in the community, we had several from each different organization let us know that they were interested in maybe heading up and talking to the people in their group about what we were interested in doing. And so we developed forms. One was for the community coordinator. We developed a recruitment flyer. We developed application forms, not only for the older adult, but for the nursing students that were in the class. We focused on wellness activity ideas for engagement for the student and older adult partners. And then we developed a mentoring agreement for them to decide what type of wellness activity might they engage in. But we gave them a little time to get to know each other to figure that out. And then we had our students have a tracking sheet for, how many hours they were spending with the older adult. And then we developed post-program evaluations. So those were some of the forms that we needed. Then we also developed educational materials, and those materials included a program introduction that was provided not only to our older adults, but also to our nursing students. And then we developed these individual Let's Talk modules. And the Let's Talk modules were like a 5-minute video, basically on different topics that not only could the nursing student look at and have some takeaways, and then there was a quiz with that, but the Let's Talk would inspire the nursing student to talk to their older adult about this topic. So the Let's Talk modules were developed along with an instructional designer, and the different modules became framing wellness, successful mentoring, respectful communication, being culturally informed, social connection, isolation and loneliness, ageism, stigma, and healthy aging, what DEI means to each of us, and community and group engagement. And then again, with each module, which is only about 5 minutes long, there was a Let's Talk module post-test for the students. These are the course outcomes, just so you have a frame of reference as I explain a little bit more about the CME program here. So this is the framing wellness, and we looked at 8 dimensions of wellness and developed this. We wanted to focus on healthy aging, and not only healthy aging for our nursing students, but our healthy aging for our older adults. And so the healthy aging and wellness, this goes beyond physical health. And in 1959, Halbert Dunn introduced his thesis on high-level wellness for man and society. And in that, they described 6 dimensions of wellness. Excuse me, yes, 6 dimensions, that's correct, of wellness. But in 2006, Swarbrick added another dimension, and Hetler also added another dimension. So Hetler included with that environmental wellness, and Swarbrick added the 8th dimension, which was financial wellness. And since we are supposed to be providing person-centered holistic care, and it's ingrained in our mission at Loyola, that Jesuit value of cura personalis, care of the whole person. And according to the International Council on Active Aging, wellness is derived from our ability to understand, accept, and act upon our capacity to lead a purpose-filled and engaged life, and in doing so, embracing our potential to pursue and optimize life's possibilities. And so these dimensions overlap and work together. Some people's dimensions, specific ones, are stronger than others. So we encourage students to also speak with their older adult about how do they stay well, related to their environment, related to their occupation or volunteerism, that type of thing. And how does that dimension impact them? So this is an example of the course schedule, and you can see it is a 16-week course. And in the middle there, you can see the CME modules. And so we tried to get those really uploaded in the front because they were good discussion topics for our students with the older adults. And we also wanted to expose the students to these different cultural groups that they may be coming in contact with as well. And so again, it was really important for our diverse groups to give us input into the different forms that we produce, terminology that they would prefer us to use, and then expose the students to some of the diverse older adults that they may engage with. So how did we then go ahead and implement it? We we started with an introduction to the program, and then also we provided the wellness framework so the students could see that where we were going. We arranged the we arranged our respective community members at the with the community experience coordinator to provide flyers for contact information and for information on the program. And those who were interested in participating completed an application and returned it to us. And for those that were at assisted living or long-term memory care partners facilities, the social workers and the activities directors worked together to ask the resident if they were interested in participating and having a student come and meet with them, and assisted with completing the form when they were interested. And then we partnered with the students to get feedback. We offered the students the option of partnering with either an adult in the community, an older adult in the community, or an older adult that they know. So it could have been a grandparent, it could have been a great uncle. We considered the students' requests. For some students may have had a lot of experience with Alzheimer's disease related dementia. And if they had already had a lot of experience, perhaps they were more interested in working with an independent older adult in the community. And if they were interested in working with patient, an older adult that had memory care needs in a residence, they also were able to tell us that on the application form. We partnered the students and the older adults based on their interests and based on their availability, so scheduling. The students made the first contact after Dr. Skemp and I partnered all of the students with the older adults. And we did require 10 hours of direct one-to-one contact. Now, they could have met by Zoom as well, or a FaceTime, but we did want them to have some time, at least, like 2 to 4 hours, actually, where they were able to be face to face. And then they agreed on mentoring topics and we held an intergenerational activity at the very end. So our evaluation, quickly, I'm sorry, I know I'm getting there on time. We had 139 nursing students that we partnered with 139 older adults. 69 of those older adults were community members and 70 were family and friends. We did increase the nursing students' interest in and comfort in care of older adults. On average, the students had attained 11.35 hours for the CME contact hours. And it was a range from 6, where there was some attrition, to 33 hours. The students and the older adults expressed decreased feelings of loneliness, and the nursing students and the older adults had improved comfort in engaging with each other. And then they did engage in health promotion activities. They did things like cooking online and learning about each other's cultures. So doing Thai cooking or something else, with while they were online with each other. Some would knit, some would take walks. People went to museums. So they did many, many different activities. Some of the challenges were the time frame. It's a very quick time frame and hard, hard turnaround. Recruitment and attrition. Attrition was more. Recruitment wasn't as difficult. Attrition, with if people got sick or something, we had a little bit more difficulty with that in our older adult residencies. And then partnering, and I'll talk a little bit about that real quickly. We need to streamline the application process and the partnering. So if we could get that computerized, like maybe Qualtrics or something, that would help. We wanted to improve the quality of the CME modules because they were very basic at this point. The older adults requested access to the Let's Talk modules, and then they also wanted a little bit more on the student's schedule and information. And everybody, students and older adults, wanted more intergenerational group activities. There were so many positive comments. I can't tell you, the students were, well, they're just like me, and so the students couldn't believe how busy the older adult schedules were. They couldn't believe how active they were. They just really enjoyed, both parties really enjoyed engaging with each other. And I can tell you more about it, but I'm going to stop right now and take questions. If you want to contact me, reach out, I'm more than willing. We can share our forms that we used and any materials that you are interested in. Please just reach out to myself, me or Dr. Skemp, but my email is right there, and you can contact me at Loyola, or my personal email is there as well. Thank you so much.
Wow, this is wonderful, Dr. Oosterhouse. I've learned a lot. So this was a one semester project, or is it for a whole year?
This was, well, it's ongoing because the course is offered in the fall and in the spring.
Uh-huh.
And so we piloted it really, and we really developed it with the input of the community, older adults, and the students one semester. And then with the development of all of the materials, we went live with it the second semester. So that would have been our fall semester. And then it was continued on in the spring as well. So, and we have, I should have mentioned, we have 4 sections of the concepts in older adult wellness, so in older adult health. So we had a lot of students,
Yeah, I can see you mentioned like 138.
139.
That's amazing. Do you guys have any questions from the audience? I have one more question to ask. For for the See Me program, and then Let's Talk module is under the See Me program. And you mentioned about different dimensions of the wellness of older adults. So within the Let's Talk module, was it covering all the 8 modules, or focusing on like based on the needs for older adults? How did you guys handle those?
Okay, so really the Let's Talk modules looked more at that communication component. The students we found, and these are traditional undergraduate nursing students, and they have a difficult time communicating with the older adults. They're used to texting. I mean, it was very difficult to get them to pick up a phone and make a phone call and, talk to the older adult. I had people in my office that were really nervous, like, one student, he was like, what do I say to them? So, I mean, and it's so interesting because these are nursing students that are going to, they're in with patients, are going to be talking to people all the time, and yet they still were so hesitant and timid to do this. So at any rate, we did have like an introduction type of email to both, and then the student was to make the first move. I'm sorry. So that was the question. What I apologize. So what, choose, what was the question again?
You understand the Let's Talk modules are more of the talking point
Yes.
stimulations.
Thank you.
Like
Yes.
the mention itself, it's more of a short video that can stimulate the conversation between the older adults and the student themselves. Were you,
Exactly.
is that
E-
what your intent?
Exactly. And then the wellness activities. So the framing wellness, I'll give you an example here of, we put activities, so we sent the older adults and students suggestions for student elder mentoring activities. And so, for example, under the physical dimension of wellness, we had exercises, going for walks, cooking for health, reading the Blue Zones text book, sharing ethnic recipes, travel logs. Where have you been and where do you want to go? Learning to dance, some of them, did. And so it was really fun. Emotional coping 101, some of our older adults really shared with our students that were going through really stressful times with, the exams and the nursing program. Making a memory book, doing artwork. So that was wonderful. What it was like when was a good activity. Intellectual, so like a book club, experiences with other generations, puzzling or games. We had a few students and their older adults got together on their own, and so they had a game night together. So that was great. And then vocational, like volunteering. What do you do as an older adult for volunteer? And then the student or the older adult could ask the student about their aspirations for their occupation and what they had done.
That's amazing. Oh, like you covered it like a lot of different types of topics for wellness.
For
Any
2 credit hours.
any other questions for Dr. Oosterhouse? Carolyn, did you
Uh,
have?
yeah, I was just gonna say, I guess the discipline of nursing isn't the only one. My dear friend is a teacher at a community college in communications, and the students had to reach out to a television or radio station to kind of get their foot in the door for internships and
Mhm.
and just shadowing, and they froze. They're like, "What? Make a phone call?" So she, in front of the class, she had to pick up the phone and call a TV or radio station. I don't know which one she called, and introduced herself and said, "Hi, I'm Cassie, and I'm interested in and then the students could do it, but they they could not communicate.
Difficult.
Where are you at?
Oh, I know it's still daylight here. I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, gotcha. So like different experiences, but shared experience among us.
Yeah. And they have so much to offer. I mean, they're just amazing. I learned so much from my patients. I'm a geriatric and palliative care nurse practitioner in Portland, and they're th- again, I feel like I learn more from them than they do from me.
It's just a wealth of knowledge. I agree. And that's what sparked my passion for older adults as well. My great grandmother raised me, and I was friends with all of her friends.
Yeah,
So as an only child, it was kind of like I just went everywhere she went, and so it just
yeah,
became my cohort as well. So, but yeah. And it's
yeah,
just, I love it that, the students really, like, oh my gosh, they're really cool. Or, or they have so many activities and they introduced me to everybody in their building. So it was great. And then even the family members said that it was so nice to have a deep conversation with like their granddaughter or their grandson. And they said, I would have never, if it weren't for this program, I don't think that my grandson, granddaughter would have ever understood what it's like for me to live alone and that I do get lonely. And so it was the person was able to talk about that with them. And so it was very beneficial for both parties. So we got a lot of really great feedback.
Awesome. Yeah, we're nearing to an end. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, so thanks to Dr. Oosterhouse, she shared her emails for questions, and people who are listening to this via recording, you can contact me or Dr. Oosterhouse directly for any other questions. And please give us some feedback. I left the survey in the chat box so we can improve our fireside chats in the next time too. And last but not least, I want to advertise for upcoming fireside chat by Dr. Leah Bach about teaching undergrad students on death and dying topics. Thank you so much, Dr. Oosterhouse. This was
Thank you.
amazing presentation. I learned so much, and I can't wait to hear more about your program, as well as actually I want to take that class
Great.
as a student.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity and thank you everybody for coming. Have a great week.